Okay, who wants to give me some good news from the weekend?
Some news from the weekend that I thought was so funny.
All right.
So this weekend on Saturday, so I made sure that I time blocked and I did about 55 cold calls, right?
Okay.
So I did get a new buyer. But the funny part was that I had got on the phone with someone, you guys, and he was telling me about a property that he has that's listed or was listed. It was expired people that I called. And I had to go from probably 4 conversations and was just trying to be very polite to get off of the phone with the guy, right?
Yeah.
But it lasted, I know, up to almost 15 to 20 minutes of him going into everything that was going on about this property and everything else in his life with politics and everything else. So I kind of thought that was pretty humorous because sometimes, calling people, we'd be so, nervous about calling people. But sometimes I think some people just want to get on the telephone. So,
Oh, I'll tell you, almost everyone wants to get on the telephone. They're all holed up in their house. They're
right.
scrolling through social media. No one's talked to them in a while. They're
Yes.
dying for these conversations.
Well, he was excited, but it definitely was a productive weekend. So
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let me go through a couple little. Anyone else want to share anything? Sorry.
Hey, Bill, I like to share.
Okay, come on in.
I was able to have my one-on-one meeting with Sam, and I did a mail out for Jamestown, which is right off McFarland, where I work at. Kind of doing a farming for that neighborhood. So we sent out some flyers to them. So I'm excited about that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Good job, you guys. Lots of activity. Lots of activity. All right, let me go through a little bit of housekeeping stuff real fast. Oh, Tina, were you about to say something?
Sorry, yeah, I have something to share.
Please
So
do.
on Saturday, I decided to do a Facebook Live
Okay.
where I just wanted to basically tell everyone that I was connected with in any kind of way that, I am a realtor. And if they had any questions about real estate, I'm available. If they become my client, that's great. But if they do not, I'm totally okay with that too. I just wanted to be in a place of service. And out of that, I got my first buyer's appointment this afternoon.
How about that? Great job.
So I'm very excited.
I tell you, it's not as hard as we want to make it feel. Like, seem, is it? The more people that know that you do what you do, you're already bringing a great reputation to the table, right? And when Tina Brown stands up there and says, "Hey, I got something I'm now focused on," they're like, "Oh my gosh, well, Tina's nailed everything else she's ever done in the world. So why wouldn't she be great at this?" Right? And poof, you got yourself a client. Great job. Man, you guys are doing awesome. All right, let's do a little bit of housekeeping real fast. We got a big week for training coming up, just really from the Market Center. So I just want to highlight a couple of things really fast. Today from 11 to 12, we have Claire Smith, who is the top buyer's agent with the Sarah Sloan team. She's doing a session on Zoom for leads to appointments, converting leads to appointments. That's today, 11 to 12. Tuesday from 1:30 to 1:30 to 2:30, Michelle Slater is doing a FISBO class in person at the office. You do have to register for that, wear masks and all that stuff. And then Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30, Joanne Curtin, who's our top agent, is doing a live listing presentation on Zoom. So if you guys want to see how she does it, she's the #1 agent in the office. She is going to be sharing that obviously completely free on Wednesday. That's Wednesday, 1:30 to 2:30. Wednesday is also our Bold 100 day. So Bold 100, as many of you know, it is not a mandate that you make 100 contacts. It is designed to push you, right? If the most contacts you ever made in a day was 15, I want to push you to make 20. If it's 60, I want to push you to make 70. Right? This is a proof that you can do more than you probably think you can. Okay. So in the Google Drive is for sale by owner favorites, expired favorites, and circle prospecting favorite scripts. We've got the agent pivot scripts that I've sent out on the last email. Lots of stuff going on. I even uploaded some business to business scripts into the script book yesterday in Google Drive. So take some time to review some of that material. And if you would like to do any type of circle prospecting on Wednesday or any day for that matter, just send me the address, email me the address. My assistant will look it up and send you the CSV file. Okay. She works 8 to 12 in the morning and 8 to 12 at night. So if you can get it to me before 12, I'll get it to you that day. Otherwise, it'll be later that night. Okay. But please send me the list now or the address now so that I'm not, how do I say this politely? She and I are going to be working for me on Wednesday. We'd prefer to do all the work we're going to do for you prior to Wednesday. Is that fair? Okay. All right, beautiful. Thank you. Next, I wanted to remind, so that's Wednesday, Bold 100. What I have in, oh, by the way, what I have in mind, we've got some new people in here today, is we all will finish our session on the morning, okay? We'll cut off the recorder. And the next thing we're gonna do is if you'd like to keep your camera on, you can. If not, turn it off. And we'd like for you to stay in the room all day, as much as you possibly can. And your lead generating may be outside of the computer, outside of the office or whatever, that's totally fine. But if you're making calls and you're sending emails and you're doing texts and all that kind of stuff, let's do it as much of a community as we can. Okay, as people are booking appointments and having successes and adding people to the database and whatnot, they're writing in the chat, hey, just got one. Hey, just got one. Hey, look, this funny thing happened. Hey, how would you handle that? And it's an opportunity for all of us to help one another out. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Next thing, I am in the process of putting together a big report for all the people that want to see how things are going in the productivity coaching room. So I would be incredibly grateful if you could send me your numbers. The last reporting day was Wednesday of last week, and there's still some people that have not reported their numbers. So please, please, please report your numbers. The next reporting period will be this upcoming Wednesday, and that'll be from the 1st of October to the 7th of October. Okay, we have set more appointments than we ever have. We have gone on more appointments than we ever have. Yet we're a little on the short side for listing appointments and listings taken. So in the month of October, I want you to lean towards listings if you can, okay? We can do more listings at the same time than we can buyers. If you have 5 listings and you go out of town, it's a chance that all 5 could be under contract by the time you get back. If you have 5 active buyers and you go out of town, ain't nothing happen until you get back. Y'all follow that? Unless, which isn't a bad thing, you would get somebody to help you with some of the work and therefore you'd share some of the money. Make sense? All right. Chrissy is new to the group. Chrissy, you wanna say hi to everyone?
Morning, everyone.
All right. Chrissy's in real estate as of about a couple weeks ago, and y'all better watch out. All right. Anything you want to share about yourself? Tell us how you came to real estate.
Sure. I'm a mom too. I'm 37 years old. I've worked in the insurance industry for over 11 years, and pretty much like you guys, I'm sure, wanted a change of pace, wanted to kind of not have a 9-to-5 govern my day. So I started my journey, I think last year, Bill, passed the real estate exam on the first time, and I'm just getting some traction, and I'm decided to join the group. So I'm happy to be here and happy to work with you guys.
Beautiful. You got we're happy to have you, first of all. And you got a group.
Welcome.
Thank you. You got a very supportive group here. So we're all in the WhatsApp groups, helping one another. We are all encountering exactly the same thing, right? All the highs and lows of finding business, serving business, and following up with business. And we're all here because this is an opportunity that we can create exactly the life we've been dreaming of just simply by helping people build wealth through real estate. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Okay, so any questions on anything we've covered so far today? All right, beautiful. I want to remind you of 2 documents. I will be sending them out most likely this morning in the weekly email. One is this document. This is the 4th quarter GPS. Please don't let this, I'm going to make a plea, okay? Please do not let this just sit in some stack or hide in some folder on your computer, please, okay? This is the game plan and the list of things you really, really, really need to take seriously in this business, okay? Social media, learning what to say, mastering the presentations, figuring out the database, working through the technology, you know, having partners. These are the very, very critical things. Please, I've seen people who embrace this have wild success. And to be super direct, I've seen people that ignore this and they don't have any success. And I want you guys to have an amazing level of success, okay? So please take this seriously. And then don't forget this document, which goes hand in hand with it, which is the daily success list. Okay, this is a reminder. Both of these documents, by the way, are in the Google Drive in doc format, so you can pull them off if you need to, or if you can, and edit them offline, not in the Google Drive, please. But this is a document that really walks you through all of the things you should be doing each day, right? So this is stuff like opening command, reviewing your goals, reviewing your pipeline, completing your daily tracking, focusing on setting an appointment for the day, having a list of people that you're going to contact, having a list of what I'm calling cleanup tasks. Cleanup tasks are essentially executing on all the promises you've made, right? So if you said, hey, I'll send you the lender's information, or hey, I'll connect you with an agent in Baltimore, or hey, I'll connect you with a roofer, all the promises you make throughout the day, write them down so you don't go to bed without finishing them. Make sense? We want to blow away our customers with service, okay? And then we're tracking all the things we're doing throughout the day, right? And by the way, I know this is a weird mental thing, but there is a psychology behind writing a 0 if the answer is 0, okay? In a sick way, I want you to say, I did not take a listing today if in fact you didn't take a listing, okay? That is our inventory. That's the oxygen for our business. If there's too many days or weeks or months that go along without taking a listing, it's going to be a tough road, right? And so if you don't take a listing or you don't have a closing, just put 0. And then in reflections, let's think about what's going on. It's not a big deal. It's no judgment. I mean, no one closes a listing every day. Well, there are people actually, but none of us, right? So, hey, what did you do well today? You know, let's push harder on that tomorrow. What got in the way? Oh, I checked Facebook too much. Okay, well, instead of signing on to Facebook 75 times, can we sign on 73 times? Right? Can we make just a tiny bit of progress every day? Does that make sense? Okay. Chrissy, normally, no pressure on you since this is your first time, but normally everyone has their video on. Isn't that right, guys? All right. And then you're saying what went well today and what did not go well today. Let's just have an honest assessment of how we're performing. Okay. Every one of us has had a job before where we were expected to perform and we were given feedback if we did not perform. Is that fair to say? Especially parenting, by the way, right? If I'm being a distracted parent, I know within like half of a second, don't we? Okay, this is your feedback. All right, guys, let's talk about objection handling. Any other thoughts or questions? Yeah, if you're open to it, Chrissy, it is a video conferencing software, right? I know I haven't said this in a while, but I'll say it for you guys since there's a number of new faces here. Is I hope that everyone has a Zoom account for themselves, right? So if by chance you have a prospect that and maybe they're nervous about COVID, or you're trying to get with them on short notice, or maybe there's people that are in multiple cities or something that you're trying to have a meeting with all at the same time. Zoom is a wonderful platform. So don't be like, well, let me call you like an hour and then I'll send you the link. Be like, I got the links already in the mail to you, right? Let's prepare to have these meetings, right? Let's make sure that we have a spot in our home or in our office or whatever that looks professional, as I've got clutter everywhere, that looks professional behind us so that we can conduct a professional meeting, right? Let's make sure our camera works. Make sure we know how to share screens, right? There will be a time where you have to do this. Does that make sense? Please don't get on a private Zoom and not have your video on.
Makes
Right?
sense.
Does that make sense? If I
Yes.
conducted the whole thing like this, how would you guys feel?
That's weird.
Exactly. All right. Chris, you get the day off since you're new.
I don't mind sharing. I don't mind. I just didn't want. I saw that really nobody else had it on, so I had to turn it on.
Oh, put it on. Let's set some good examples here. All right.
Sure.
Also, don't forget we have our advanced skill session today. That's through GLG. I'll send out a link here shortly in the announcements page. And we do have the high accountability group from 10 to 10:30. I'm sorry, 10 to 10:15. I'll also send that link out. Those links don't change. So if you've ever been a part of them, just go into the same link you've ever gone into. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Social media class is 2 to 3 on Tuesday, and scripts class is 2 to 3 on Thursday. And yes, Marquia, stay eyes on the road. 10:15 to 10:30 on Friday, we will have the tech class with Sam. Yes. Okay. Oh, one last. Yes, ma'am.
Will you be sending all of that in an email like you normally do?
So I did the announcements page and the other page, the help page on Friday, the full calendar. So I don't have all the Zoom links, but I've got the calendar that describes all of everything we've talked about.
On the announcement page, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. And it'll also go out in the email that I send out today. And then we are doing two pop-up classes this week. One is going to be a building your systems class on Thursday from 11 to 12, and a Canva class on Friday from 12 to 1. And then our success series is actually going to be today. That's from 1 to 2 with Paul Tully. I'm telling you, don't miss this. Paul is like a prospecting genius. Okay, he's just done a ton of it. He's very well practiced. He understands the psychology behind it. He treats it like a game, right? It's very professional. I don't want you to hear me wrong, but he's having fun. Like if somebody blows him off, he's like, whatever, let's go call another one. Let's go have some fun, right? Doesn't take it personally. And he's had some very, very serious success. So from 1 to 2 in this room today, he'll be available, and he'll be doing some Q&A and sharing some of his secrets, okay? All right. I want to hold my promise to speaking about objection handling today. So today I'm going to give you a framework that I want you to understand and be able to practice. And we can talk about this multiple times, okay? This isn't the end of it. I am taking a class called Language of Sales through MAPS right now. I've taken it before, but this is a kind of a newer version of it. This is a group MAPS class, and it's for the next 8 weeks. I will be in class every Wednesday for an hour learning about the language of sales. My intention is to bring that to you guys and to share with you some of what I'm learning and practice, okay? So the framework, when you get an objection, first of all, when you get an objection, it is because they have a slight degree of curiosity or interest in you. If you're not getting objections, it's probably one of the polar opposites. One is they're ready to sign, or two, they're like, how fast can this person get away from me? Okay, they got no interest at all. If they're giving you objections, it's because they have interest and they're just expressing some questions that just need to be ironed out before they move forward with working with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to talk about two concepts today. One is called acknowledge and the other is called validate. Okay, now you're probably doing some of these already. They feel pretty natural in my opinion, but I just want to highlight them for you. Okay, so what you're wanting to do is acknowledging is simply restating what you heard them say, right? So you might say, what I'm hearing you say is, right? What you're saying is. In other words, what you're telling me is, so you're saying, what I hear you telling me is, I understand that, right? So let's say an example would be, the home hasn't sold for a few weeks or they haven't gotten the proper number of showings and it's a bit stale. So you approach the seller and you want to reduce the price. And they, of course, hear, oh my gosh, I'm going to get less money, right? Rather than, oh my gosh, I actually might meet my goal of selling this home, right? So I say, here's some data, here's the results of where we've been. I believe that we need to be priced at, let's say, 300. And they give me a diatribe about why that doesn't make them happy, right? And I might say, what I hear you saying is, right? That's proof that I'm listening. Okay, acknowledging allows the listener to know that you've heard them. Okay, validating allows the speaker to stabilize their feelings about the situation. People just want to be heard, and they also want to feel right, right? So you got to give them what they want. Okay, so again, acknowledging are things like, so what I hear you saying is, right, that netting the most money is really important to you, right? That you're ready to get to Baltimore by December, right? That you are ready to get your kid into this different school district, right? Now, then you would couple that with examples of validating. It's understandable that it's perfectly normal when, no wonder you feel, you have every right to think, right? So I understand what I hear you saying is that selling your home in a quick amount of time is important. It's understandable that you would feel that way with you being here and your wife having already started her job in Chicago, right? So you're acknowledging what you've heard, proof that you're listening. And secondly, you're validating what their main frustration is, which puts them at ease a little bit. And if they are feeling like you're on the other team, you're basically reminding them that y'all are on the same side of the table, which is, you want to sell this house, I want to sell this house. Let's team up and talk about how to sell this house. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what I hear you saying is that setting an appointment is making you uncomfortable, and it's understandable that you would feel that way. However, what I have found is that when I can meet with buyers in a professional meeting prior to us going to look at a bunch of property, I find that we are able to save both of us a lot of time so that I don't have to take you to homes that aren't going to be a match for you. You do want to save time, don't you? See what I'm saying?
Mm.
So this is a script, okay, and it's a structure that's going to not only create efficiencies, but it's going to deepen that rapport with your prospect. So we can say all day long that we're resistant to scripts or scripts aren't me or whatever. Problem is you already got scripts. They just don't work that well, right? They're just not rooted in psychology. They're not, you see them, you see where I'm headed? Any thoughts, comments, questions?
I have a question, and you might have already said this, Bill. It's Chrissy. So these scripts are found in KW Command, this particular one, or is this just through your class that you're going through?
This particular one is through my class.
Okay.
I can add some of the, well, the truth is a lot of the scripts already embed things like this. They're already teaching you to acknowledge and validate. The phraseology is embedded in many of the scripts because they're so much rooted in psychology. This is what I've taught you today is basically just pulling it out of the script and saying, look, here's what we're doing here. Here's why we say these things that we say. And here's why we say them the way we say them. So oftentimes when you're trying to communicate a message to a prospect that doesn't, like they haven't quite figured out that y'all are on the same team and you guys have different feelings, it's very common for one of you, if not both of you, to take a very defensive mode, right? Well, you just want to lower the price so you can get your home sold. And these kind of, like, they can get frustrated and you can get frustrated because they're not listening to your recommendations. This is a way of kind of putting that to the side and saying, look, I acknowledge where you're coming from and I get it, right? I understand that it must be stressful to not be living with your family right now. And that's why it's so important to look at the data with me so we can make the most appropriate choice and get you guys to Chicago, get the rest of your family to Chicago. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Any thoughts or questions on that? Okay. I'll repeat the phrases one more time just so you guys can hear this. Acknowledging is what I'm hearing you say is what you're saying is. In other words, what you're telling me is. So you're saying that. What I hear you telling me is. I understand that. Examples of validating are, it's understandable that. It's perfectly normal when. No wonder you feel this way. You have every right to think this, right? Make sense? Here's some examples. A child says to you, that's not fair. I hear you saying that it's not fair, and it makes sense that you would feel that way. However, go to bed, right? A seller doesn't like the proposed list price. What I'm hearing you say is that you're frustrated with the potential listing price, and it's understandable with all the mechanical updates you've made to the property. However, in the history of the universe, this is not what you would say, by the way, in the history of the universe, there hasn't ever been a home in your neighborhood to sell for above 350. So what in the world makes you think that your home's worth 4, right? A buyer is resistant to make an offer. In other words, you're saying that this isn't the right house for your family, and you have every right to feel that way. So get back in the car. Let's go find a different one. Make sense? All right. Was that fun? Did you guys feel like you learned something?
Hearing it again always helps.
What's that?
Yeah.
Hearing it again always
Yes.
helps.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey, can you help me with something?
Yeah.
Because I always seem to struggle. So I'm in the Google Drive. Tell me, when I pull it up, where am I going to get the scripts that you're talking about? Not today, of course, I know it's different. Am I going to the—
you're in the Google Drive, so you would go to the far left-hand side where it says shared with me.
Okay.
And then you should have the file that says just PC.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're in there, there's a folder called scripts.
Okay.
Okay, if you can't find it.
No, I see it. I see it. And there's a buyer script in here, yes?
Yeah, I mean, there's several script books that include basically every scenario you would ever have with a buyer. Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. All right,
Yep,
you guys,
thanks.
if you're able, please, like I said, don't make me beg on the numbers. You guys have set almost, if we can do like another 101 database additions for those people that have not put up their numbers, we will set a record there. And by the way, we almost doubled the best record for contracts written. So keep up the good work. I'm really proud of you guys. And let's have a great day. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Bye-bye.